Okay, for tech reporters like me, today is a very big day in Washington because Chuck Schumer is convinced Satya Nadella, Sundar Pichai, Elon Musk, Mark Zuckerberg, the top CEOs of all the big companies that are making the big foundational models in AI, to all come and talk to him. How did he get them to do that? Well, they don't have to talk to anybody else, so it's a closed door session. There's no press and no public allowed inside. So it's a private conversation in which these guys get to talk to senators without anybody else watching and impress upon them the value and fantasticness of AI, undoubtedly, and then try to shape the ideas that they may be having around what dangers might be represented. And I was speaking to somebody yesterday. I brought a former Google ethicist named Margaret Mitchell here. She was in San Francisco for the day and I brought her here. She used to work in this building. Google is in this building, and it was, I think, kind of traumatizing for her to come here, but she's persevered and she came here and she said the problem with having tech CEOs at a gathering like this, and there are a handful of non-tech people, non-CEO people in this gathering, but for the most part the big names and the reasons we're all paying attention is that these big tech CEOs are there. She says having those people guide the discussion on regulation is a problem because they think only quarter by quarter about profit. They are profit driven and they are speed driven. So their whole push is we have to be fast, we got to release this stuff quickly. Whereas she says the lessons of the last few years in AI is that if you move quickly and you just release these models out into the world, they create all kinds of problems that then get baked in over time. So for instance, we don't have any good technical solution right now for distinguishing between AI written language and human written language. And a huge amount of language is being put onto the web by things like ChatGPT because we just released it without any kind of regulatory oversight. And that creates an enormous problem. So the difficulty that these guys are basically trying to point out is, the critics of this gathering are trying to point out is that you have people who are all about making money, about breaking things, moving fast, creating huge societal upheaval without any real oversight. And ultimately, they seem to be getting through to people like Chuck Schumer, who right after this gathering got in front of reporters and he said that one of the lessons he took away from this is that if regulators move too fast, they can ruin things, and they don't want to be like the EU, and that it should only take months to create regulations, not years. So if anything, it seems like tech CEOs in Washington right now are getting their way.